The world of sports broadcasting is no stranger to controversy, but the recent removal of Sheryl Swoopes from all 2025 WNBA TV broadcasts sent shockwaves through the industry. A legend on the court, Swoopes found herself facing accusations of spreading falsehoods and harboring animosity towards rising star Caitlin Clark. This wasn't just a difference of opinion, it was a pattern of behavior deemed unacceptable by broadcasters and fans alike. Swoopes, a three-time WNBA MVP and Olympic gold medalist, had transitioned seamlessly into broadcasting, leveraging her expertise and charisma to become a respected voice in the game. Her fall from grace, therefore, felt all the more dramatic. The allegations against her painted a picture of a seasoned professional allowing personal biases to cloud her judgment, ultimately jeopardizing her hard-earned reputation. The controversy surrounding Swoopes centered around her commentary on Caitlin Clark, the young phenom who took the WNBA by storm. Swoopes' critiques, often laced with factual inaccuracies and delivered with a dismissive tone, raised eyebrows and sparked accusations of jealousy and resentment. As the controversy escalated, it became clear that Swoopes' actions had consequences, forcing a reckoning within both her career and the broader landscape of sports media. The decision to remove Swoopes from WNBA broadcasts was not taken lightly. It reflected a growing intolerance within the industry for misinformation and unprofessional conduct, even from those with legendary status. Swoopes' story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most celebrated figures are accountable for their words and actions, especially in the age of social media scrutiny and instant accountability. At the heart of Sheryl Swoopes' broadcasting downfall lay her contentious relationship with Caitlin Clark. Clark, a dazzling point guard for the Indiana Fever, burst onto the WNBA scene with a combination of skill and swagger rarely seen in the league. Her electrifying play and confident demeanor quickly made her a fan favorite and a marketing juggernaut, but her rapid ascent seemed to rub Swoopes the wrong way. Swoopes' commentary on Clark was noticeable for its lack of enthusiasm, often bordering on dismissiveness. While Clark was lighting up the scoreboard and breaking records, Swoopes seemed reluctant to acknowledge her accomplishments, instead focusing on perceived flaws in her game. This reluctance to embrace Clark's talent raised questions about Swoopes' objectivity and fueled speculation that her commentary was driven by something more than just basketball analysis. Adding fuel to the fire was Swoopes' tendency to downplay Clark's role in the Indiana Fever's success. Despite Clark's undeniable impact on the team's performance, Swoopes often credited other players or attributed their victories to external factors. This blatant disregard for Clark's contributions further alienated fans and raised concerns about Swoopes' professionalism. The tension between Swoopes and Clark was palpable, evident in their limited interactions both on and off the court. While Clark remained focused on her game and her burgeoning career, Swoopes' commentary seemed increasingly out of touch with the reality of Clark's talent and impact on the league. This disconnect ultimately proved to be Swoopes' undoing, leading to her dismissal from WNBA broadcasts and casting a shadow over her legacy in the sport. The controversy surrounding Sheryl Swoopes' commentary on Caitlin Clark wasn't her first brush with controversy. In 2016, Swoopes' tenure as head coach of the Loyola University women's basketball team came to an abrupt end amidst allegations of player mistreatment and a toxic team environment. The incident, though seemingly unrelated to her later broadcasting career, cast a long shadow and raised questions about Swoopes' temperament and leadership style. Swoopes' time at Loyola was marred by player departures and allegations of verbal abuse and emotional manipulation. Multiple players transferred out of the program, citing a culture of fear and intimidation under Swoopes' leadership. The university launched an investigation into the allegations, and while the findings were never made public, Swoopes' departure shortly thereafter spoke volumes. The Loyola incident raised concerns about Swoopes' ability to handle the pressures of a high-profile position and her capacity for empathy and understanding. It also highlighted a potential pattern of behavior, suggesting that her treatment of Caitlin Clark might not be an isolated incident, but rather indicative of deeper-rooted issues. While Swoopes maintained her innocence regarding the allegations at Loyola, the damage was done. The incident tarnished her reputation and raised doubts about her character, doubts that would resurface with renewed vigor during the Caitlin Clark controversy. The Loyola episode served as a harbinger, foreshadowing the challenges Swoopes would face in navigating the complexities of public perception and the high stakes of the media spotlight. Sheryl Swoopes' downfall wasn't merely a matter of opinion or personal bias, it was rooted in a pattern of spreading demonstrably false information about Caitlin Clark. These falsehoods, often presented as fact during broadcasts and interviews, painted a distorted picture of Clarke's career and fueled the flames of controversy. One of the most egregious examples of Swoopes' misinformation campaign was her repeated claim that Caitlin Clarke played 5 years of college basketball. This claim, easily debunked by even a cursory glance at Clarke's collegiate record, was nonetheless presented by Swoopes as evidence that Clarke's achievements were somehow less impressive. The fact that Swoopes clung to this falsehood, even after being corrected, raised serious concerns about her credibility and intentions. Another example of Swoopes' misinformation involved Clarke's scoring prowess. Swoopes frequently stated that Clarke averaged over 40 shots per game in college, a staggering and demonstrably false statistic. Clarke's actual average was significantly lower, yet Swoopes continued to propagate this falsehood, seemingly intent on portraying Clarke as a ball hog who padded her stats. These fabrications, coupled with Swoopes' general dismissiveness towards Clarke's accomplishments, created a narrative that was both inaccurate and unfair. By disseminating falsehoods and distorting Clarke's record, Swoopes undermined her own credibility and fueled a toxic discourse surrounding one of the WNBA's brightest young stars.